Are you ready, Coach?
Tell them to count us
All
down.
right, we're ready when you are. I'll nudge you.
Welcome to Vineland High School football on this October 29th on a beautiful night at the Colts Corral. My name is John Parentazzi. I'm the color commentator, and I will be turning it over to play-by-play man Rich Scarp in a couple minutes. The Colts are 0-3. The Fighting Clan is 3-0. Rich and I are in our worst nightmare. We're in the stands, ground level, trying to call this game. So bear with us. We're going to be excited tonight. We're going to make some remarks. Maybe they'll be out of whack, but hang in there with us. Rich?
Well, Coach, tale of two teams. We have one team on the field tonight, Vineland, averaging almost 44 points a game this season. And it's Cumberland Regional Colts giving up 43 points a game. So Cumberland struggling mightily. Second-year coach Dwayne Hendricks comes in with a 1-12 record. They did have their best game last week, putting up over 30 points on the board. So that was kind of a breakthrough. They returned a couple kicks in that one. All time in this series, it's Vineland High School 17 wins, Cumberland 2. Last year was VHS 49-13 over Cumberland. That game, Vineland rushed for 212 yards, led by Davon Seymour with 69. Pacheco was 3 for 3 passing for 95 yards and a touchdown, which was thrown to Anderson. 21-0 into the first quarter, 41-0 at the half. In the second half, running back Lamar Jones from Cumberland rushed for a couple touchdowns. Vineland coming in, averaging, as I mentioned, 43.6 points a game and just 6.7 against. The 34 by Cumberland last week was the most points they've scored in 26 games.
Rich, I went to practice yesterday. We were talking before, and there's going to be some surprises tonight. You're going to see a lot more of Sheldon at quarterback.
Yeah, Shelton's getting the start tonight for Pacheco.
And you're going to see Pacheco running back. I tell you, he broke that 80-yarder last week. Was phenomenal. Okay.
Also for Cumberland, as they get set to receive, mentioned a few of four of their standout players. Mark Jones, quarterback, running back, senior at 6 foot 185. And up on the offensive line, a couple of big boys to battle with that defensive front. Marshawn Brown and Cameron Smith, 6'5", 280, 6'2", 280. And linebacker Roy Crawford, or cornerback Roy Crawford at 5'9", 161. They pace that. So Cumberland with good field position off the squib kick, and look for a lot of little pooch kicks because the way Cumberland created some of that offense were through the kick returns.
Looks like the 31-yard line, Rich, they're starting.
It was Jones and Hatcher last week returning it. Well, Coach, it's going to be a little rough.
Yeah.
So
hang in there with us as soon as we get our monitor
so
going.
Vineland up front, Jones at nose guard, Sansalone at 1D tackle, Reyes on the other. Conrad Jackson at an inside linebacker, number 81.
Good tackle there by Sansalone. He took the off-tackle play and stuffed it for a yard gain, Rich.
Got some help from number 7, Blakely. Ryan Shelton's playing safety in the back there alongside Otis Harold. Jamal Brooks in the defensive backfield. Yeah. Also at linebacker, Nazir Broom has actually been running the ball a little bit more and doing it very well. We'll talk more about that Vineland offense when they take over, give you some numbers on these players. And a timeout already for Cumberland.
Rich, I don't like being negative, but the ball is on the other hash mark, and they're huddling up on this hash mark. That's just disorganization, you know. You wonder what they're thinking. I mean, you get your center to line up right behind the ball because that's where the ball's going to be put in play. And it just bothers me sometimes when they're disorganized.
Well, we may have a lot of time during this game to go over some of these numbers and what's transpired for Vineland. So far, you know, their schedule starts out where they're heavily favored in a lot of games and then gets tough in a hurry. Vineland getting ready for next week. They have a bye week, so it'll be a good time to heal some people up. Taji Reese is out today with a little Achilles bruise, and Coach Wisely having him sit this one out. And it's, you know, he really showed what he can do as a defensive back and a ball carrier with 2 touchdowns last week.
They had a man in motion, Rich, 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, false start, 2nd and 14. And it's a quiet stadium.
Yeah, it feels like
it almost feels like we're starting this early.
No, it feels like we shouldn't be here.
This almost right now has the feel of a preseason game.
Inside handoff.
Squirts to the outside, stays on his feet, and brought down from behind by Reyes. So
boy, I had a long talk with that young man yesterday, Rich. What a fine gentleman he is. And boy, did he get big this year.
Well, we argued about that the first game when you're like, I'm like, Coach, he's thick.
I was surprised.
So I'm going to put that in that Richie, you're right category. That gives me 2, the onside kick last week, and Reyes confirmation for this one. Yeah, big and strong. So 1st and 10 for the Colts.
Yeah, number 7 made a nice play. That's Blakely. Boy, he made a nice play coming up.
So interesting. Shelton going to get the start. Would be fun to watch some of that. I don't know how much of that we're going to get to see, though, from here. Jones on a quarterback draw. Picks his way through the middle with a couple nice moves before he's brought down by Broom.
Pretty good athlete, Rich.
You know, in the like last year, you know, after that dominant first half and a 40-point lead going into halftime, you know, some of the other guys worked in, but it was Lamarck Jones that kind of got his season underway, scored a couple touchdowns, and then played some good football the rest of the year for the Colts. So 3rd and long, 3rd and about 6. Jones to pass. Now he's going to try to run with it. He's hit and brought down short of the first down. Yeah, Reyes with the initial contact, and Broom cleans it up. And Cumberland is going to punt.
Yeah. Good defensive stand.
And you can see pretty much Lamarck Jones's offense out there, whether he's throwing, running, or dropping back to throw and taking off. So Pacheco back for Vineland alongside Sincere Gay. Average punt is about 27 yards for this kicker. And he'll be punting from the 45. And he'll be punting from the 50 as it's a delay of game. You know, Coach, in watching Cumberland, one thing I saw that they do really well, they go on different counts, different cadence.
Yeah.
You know, on 2, on 3, on 2. And I thought that's one thing, like in a short distance, that they may be able to get a first down on something like that from Vineland. So the penalty helps out here. High snap over the head of the punter. Reyes in pursuit. And he tries to kick it, which was a smart play, but not able to plant his foot down with Reyes storming right on top of him.
Boy, that's going to be down 23-yard line, Rich.
So awesome field position for Vineland after the bad snap goes over the punter's head. Cumberland just looks very, very flat. So this will be Ryan Shelton's first start at quarterback. So we mentioned Pacheco is in at running back. Mike Bachman, the center up front alongside Shelton rolls. A little bit of pressure. He's directing some traffic, drops back, and flings it out of bounds, incomplete.
Quarterback keeper by number 10, Ryan Shelton. Tackle for a 1-yard loss, 2nd and 11.
So for Vineland coming into this, it's Isaiah Pacheco leading the way on the ground with 454 yards on 34 carries. He's averaging 13.5 yards a carry with 6 touchdowns. Naheem Anderson, 162 yards, averaging 8 yards a carry. Ryan Shelton with 39 yards, averaging almost 10 yards a carry. Listen to this average. Nazir Broom, 5 carries for 80 yards. That's a 27 yards a pop there.
An eligible receiver downfield.
With the Shelton kept the play alive, rolling out, pump faking, and linemen get creeping.
That's 10 yards and lost it down.
Shane Eckert and a lot in Ardahan. Pacheco through the middle. Nice tackle on the play.
Number 1, Isaiah Pacheco.
Timmy Jones at one tackle, Sansalone at the other. Reyes and Anderson will be in at tight end.
You got the 10 yards back, Rich. 3rd and 10.
So Vineland just outside the red zone at the 22. Tyreen Powell, wide receiver number 22, at the bottom of the screen. Shelton instead gives to Pacheco, who spins, and he takes a hit. It's going to pick up maybe about half of that.
Well, yeah.
4th and 5.
So Vineland looks to be going for it here as they're set up on the line.
How about that? He's got Anderson as a wideout. He's got good hands, too.
Yeah, one of the leading receivers last year, leading receiver touchdown-wise and yards-wise, I believe. From that tight end spot, he really made a ton of people miss, and fantastic in space with the ball. Vineland takes a timeout.
Timeout, Vineland.
Okay. Let's see if we can capitalize on this big break. The importance of specialty teams right there.
They can keep you in a game or they can hurt you a lot. And last week
Yeah.
it was the special teams for Cumberland that kept them in it, scoring 2 touchdowns on them. Can't wait to be back home, Coach.
I know.
Oy, oy, oy.
Well, we're okay with the remaining games. Mainland always treats us nice in the booth.
Well, we were happy
We've never
last.
been to Clearview, have we?
No, Oh, no, we were there last year, Coach. For that 61 points we put up on the board. And what was a toss-up game to most, or a slight favor for Clearview. That's what really solidified Vineland. Pacheco can reset. He moved early, but he can reset, and he does. So big fourth down. And to throw, floating deep to the end zone. It's going to fall incomplete, intended for Garcia. So Cumberland stops the Vineland drive.
Stop Vineland.
Intended for J.P. Garcia. Garcia, Tyreen Powell, and Anthony Reyes lead the way in receptions with 5 apiece for Vineland. Reyes with 95 yards, Garcia with 83, and Tyreen Powell for 47. There's Powell with the touchdown. So Cumberland's second crack at it.
Try to run the middle of Vineland Ridge, and they got looks like about a yard and a half. I don't think Cumberland can really move us up front.
No, and you know, one thing that we've seen all year from Vineland is, you know, it takes a little while to get the engine running. A little bit of a slow start, but by half they usually have it figured out and have the wheels churning on the bus. Blakely tries to make a tackle and squirting through a couple of those and going to pick up the first down.
Yeah, you got it, Rich.
That's Lamar Jones again. So another first down for the Colts as they withstand the bad snap. There's another bad snap. Naheem Anderson in pursuit. Lamar Jones is going to fall on it, but not after a big loss.
Wow.
Looks like Jones wasn't ready for that one.
I'm not sure that was a trick or not. It looked like it
tricked the quarterback, that's for sure.
No, I thought he was trying to hit the guy in motion.
Oh, I see what you're saying. That's a tough snap.
Wow.
And that's a major loss. The ball was
10, almost 16-yard loss.
You know, the ball was at the 31, and now we're back to about the 12. And so it's second and long. Officially on the scoreboard, 19. That's a long 19. Lamar keeps it up the middle, not much there. One thing Cumberland's doing, though, is they're waiting till the last second to snap it. Every time I see this back judge start counting and then the ball's getting snapped.
Yeah.
Because their game plan is to take some time off the clock and speed this up. And so far, so good with that stop. We have 3:40 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, but they're going to have to snap the long snap again, Rich.
Now, I'm sorry, folks, but I really can't see anything down there.
They sacked Jones for another loss.
Sorry, fellas. You know how much I love calling the games and calling out the plays and identifying who did it, but it's going to be almost impossible tonight. Maybe if the ball came down to this side of the field, we'd have a little help.
We need that sun to go down, Rich. We'll be in good shape. Or our monitor to go on.
Positives. Well, this punt's away. Looks like Gay's going to get it. He's going to head to the left sideline. And, of course, there's a clip all the way back at the 45. So Gay takes it up the side, but a clip, and that's going to push Vineland back probably on their side of the field.
Yep.
So Shelton gets his second crack at it at QB here. elsewhere around the Old Cape tonight. Collingswood and Buna at 6. Gloucester Catholic at Middle Township. Lower Cape May to Wildwood, and Wildwood, somebody's going to get a win there. They're still setting the down markers. Absegami goes up to Eastern. Delsey and Holy Spirit. That one will have some implications. So here we go, 1st and 10, Fighting Clan. Shelton gives to Pacheco through the middle. Sidestep, spin move, picks up about 5.
Good job.
Overbrook heads to Oakcrest. Pleasantville at Shalleck. And, of course, we're here for Cumberland tomorrow. It's Pennsville at St. Joe's, Camden at Cedar Creek, and Millville in Williamstown tomorrow night at 7. It's another give to Pacheco. This time going forward, looks like he's going to have a first down by a few yards.
No, see, that was a 9-yard gain. It's tough to see that, Rich, from our angle.
So new set of downs. Again to Pacheco over the middle, picks up about 4.
Boy, he runs hard, Rich.
Well, Cumberland's doing a good job keeping him in the box, keeping him in the middle. And looks like Pacheco's shaken up on the play. Well, hopefully he's going to be all right. And now I can't really tell what they're working on. I just see him stretching a leg out a little bit. So next week's the bye week, Coach.
Yeah. I have to figure out what to do.
I'm looking at the schedule, what you can go see, and nothing's really jumping off the page.
No.
Prep in Bridgeton, Pleasantville, Holy Spirit. That's probably the best game. Ocean City, Gammy, Buna Highland, Middle Triton, Egg Harbor AC, Cedar Creek Mainland, Oakcrest St. Joe's. So maybe Pleasantville. Pleasantville, Holy Spirit, you find out if Pleasantville's for real, as they've had offensive explosions.
That's a great facility, though, isn't it, down there, Rich? You've been down there?
Pleasantville? Yeah, it's a par 5 walk from the parking lot. Remember, I was down there with you.
That's a little school like that's got that magnificent.
So Pacheco up and walking off without a limp, so hopefully just took a shot somewhere. He needed a minute for it to heal. So Nazir Broom jumps in the backfield now. Think that was a late flag on the low hit on Shelton at the end?
No.
No, that was still part of the first initial fouls.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure. He was a little late, and it was not that I thought it should have been a foul, but there's something close.
Yeah. It looked like we're at it sink a little, Rich. What do you think?
I agree. It's talk about flat, talk about the feel of exhibition game. It has nothing to do with the players or the. It's just that's the feel. Like Cumberland's right there with 50 seconds to go in the first quarter of a 0-0 game. Their best first quarter of the year. Shelton fakes to Broom, tries to get wide. He spins and he's going to be brought down for a sack. Big loss on the play, back to Vineland's own 45. Pacheco back in the game. That's nice to see. He's ready to get his yards back here on 3rd and long.
I thought that was Jones that sacked him, too. I wasn't sure. Kids all over the field, though.
Jones is number 4.
Boy, this game is.
That's
Oh,
gonna
the
do
end
it for
of
the
the
quarter.
Oh,
So pretty uneventful first quarter.
yeah, we've had the
if
ball.
you're Vineland, but if you're Cumberland, you got to be happy with that. You got Vineland on a 3rd and 27 on their own side of the
Yeah.
field in a 0-0 game. So a great start for the Colts is kind of like just let a sleeping dog lie. They just lure you to sleep.
I used to call this, Rich, reading your own newspapers. They probably realized how bad, not how bad, but they could beat Cumberland. And maybe they just.
Well, there is something else we need to talk about, and that was the 2 ejections last week that you were a part of at this appeals process that didn't go too well. And, you know, we know how I feel after last week about that hit on that pass play and ejection. I thought, and I said the word egregious, which I thought was right on point. But the other problem is we talk about us playing a little flat. Well, there is some concern that if I hit somebody a little late, I hit somebody too hard, that I could knock my team out of the playoffs. For those of you who don't know, any team with 3 ejected players in a season, you're out of the playoffs. Now, for Coach Russo in his tenure, he's had 2 ejected players. They both happened last week. Both were attempted to be appealed, and that was shot down.
Yeah.
So
For this state, there is no appeal.
And that's unfortunate because being a former head wrestling coach, you know there's not with the state, but then you go to court and you drag it in there. Shelton back to throw, flips it out behind Powell, who's not able to hold on to it. So it's 4th and long. Vineland the punt. Haven't seen a punts very often from Vineland.
No.
But it'll be Pacheco back to punt. Naheem Anderson, the long snapper for punts. It's Ray Greif for extra points and field goals.
Anderson snapping? I thought Greif snapped.
He snaps for the extra points. It's a high end-over-end kick, going to hit down right at the 15, breaking a couple tackles before he's brought down. On the play is Tyrell Russell, the sophomore, at 5'9" and weighs 0 pounds. I have probably the ugliest, most incomplete roster for Cumberland. They have a coach that has, as the head coach, that hasn't coached here in 2 years. 27 players without numbers by them, and about 30 without weights, and 20 without heights and grades. Well, it's nice at Vineland when you have all that stuff handled.
Yes.
Trying to pick his way, picks up about 2 or 3 before he's brought down.
I thought I lost my.
And that's hats off to all the Vineland coaches, but especially Kyle Serrana, head of football operations, to make sure all the T's get dotted and or T's should get crossed and I's dotted, Coach. But make sure we have that all together. So 2nd and 9.
Well, maybe at halftime I'll straighten this out. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Offsides on Anderson. So it'll be 2nd and 4 now.
I got him, Rich. Okay. Yeah, they. You know what, Rich? I can't remember Anderson doing that this year. Probably did it once, but.
I thought you were going to say doing it at all. I was like, we used to argue about that last year.
But he's
this
been
year,
pretty.
yes.
He's been pretty good at it. What happened now?
And we get those yards right back. Procedure foul. I think the motion man was heading forward. I know you know, but for those of you who don't, when somebody goes in motion, they can't be gaining ground towards the line of scrimmage. And He seemed to be heading upfield in his motion, which is illegal. So we're back to 2nd and 9. So it's almost like that offsides didn't happen, Coach.
Yep.
Back to pass. Looking deep. Reyes flushes him out. Tries to get an angle to get to him. It's floated deep and complete. J.P. Garcia trying to make the tackle. He's not going to be able to.
Wow.
Touchdown for Cumberland's number 20, who of course is not on my roster. And Cumberland gets on the board on the long pass to a wide open receiver.
It's 23 and 50. 73-yard pass, Rich.
I believe that was Roy Crawford, that number 2, that may have thrown that one as Lamarck went out for a pass.
Who caught it, Rich?
Number 20, that's all you can put. We don't have a 20 on their roster.
No, we don't.
I heard that somewhere before.
I'll put 20.
And the 2-point conversion,
No good.
I'm assuming is no good because I can't see the field. So Cumberland on top with 10:26 to go in the second quarter.
That ball was thrown a good distance, too. And by the way, he got smacked.
It sat in the air quite a while, too.
No, I mean, when he threw it,
yeah.
Anderson, thank God he didn't get a penalty.
Well, penalties are all right.
But he hit him legit. His arm was in motion when he got to him.
See, and that's the thing that's scary when we talk about what happened last week. You take the aggression out, but sometimes you hit a quarterback late and you hit him hard, and that's a penalty. But everybody's worried about getting ejected, pulling up all the time.
Well, Rich, will be the 3rd time we get the ball. I think we got negative yards. We had a couple big losses.
Yeah, the big sack.
Nice run back here would help. Checker.
And it's a short kick.
Oh, good job.
Coming up with it, picking his way through the middle. And brought down is Chris Miller. So Miller with a nice return, setting Vineland up, it looks like, at their own 41 or 2 yard line. 42-yard line, Coach.
3rd time we've had the ball, Rich. We've shown no spark. Is that a good word?
It's a
on
good
the
word.
offense.
It would be a good 2 words, Coach.
Okay.
It's a good 2 words. What is this flag?
What happened now?
Think legal substitution on Cumberland. With too many guys on the field.
That would be a good handicap.
Yeah.
Let a team play with an extra if they were underdogs.
Yeah, 12 players on the field, so before Vineland snaps it with nobody heading off, the official throws the flag and stops the play. And there goes over the far side. Pacheco picks up a 1st down and about 9 more.
Good run. That was a good fake, too. Faked me right out. I thought they were coming to this side.
So Vineland trying to get that spark, Coach, with Pacheco back in at quarterback here.
Yeah.
With Anderson alongside.
Man, we got more delays in
Yeah,
this game.
I don't know this one. I know this, go on the snap. But anyway, Vineland ready to go.
Oh, nice handoff. Looks like they picked the pace up a little, Rich.
Yeah, that's a great point, Coach. With Pacheco back in there, they're attacking, getting more plays off much quicker. So second and short, second and about 4. Pacheco gives to Anderson through the middle.
He's gone.
He's got a head of speed. He's
gone,
trucking
Rich.
his way into the end zone for the touchdown. And just that
32-yard
ties it at 6 with 9:31 to go on the 32-yard run by Anderson. Man, woke up
Good
a little
job.
bit there, Coach. That was probably the
What the hell's the clock? I can't find it. Oh, I'm looking the wrong end, Rich. Thanks.
That's why I hit you with it. With 9:32 to left, Anderson gets in the end zone, and they click the second off of that. So Vineland going for 2. Pacheco sends J.P. Garcia in motion. Flipped over the top, and what a grab by Reyes.
Good job.
Reyes goes for it along with mystery man number 1 for Cumberland, and Reyes rips it from his hands. So Vineland up by 2, 8-6, with still that 9:31 to go in the first half.
Man, when he broke that line of scrimmage, you heard me, Rich. He's gone. He had a head of steam.
Exactly. I think that was the quickest I seen him moving up. He covered a lot of ground in a hurry. It's
Boy, he had a head of steam.
nice blocking up front by that line to not have him have to make somebody miss at that first level with the defensive line. And once again, that's Bachma, Ecker, Ardahan,
He had a pretty good head of steam, boy, when he hit that line of scrimmage.
Hill, Sanzalone, and tight end Reyes up front. Did a really good job blocking the line of scrimmage to give Anderson that burst of speed through the middle where he can just accelerate and run past everyone. So don't look for Vineland to kick it deep here. Lamarck Jones is back along with Terrell Russell.
Another squibber.
And it rolls on the ground for quite a while before it's picked up
They got him, Rich.
and brought down inside the 20.
19.
Like Camden Watson on the stop. Number 14 does a nice job.
That's Cumberland's 4th possession. They scored in last time on that 73-yard bomb. But that's about the only offense they've shown.
Yeah, and I really wouldn't be surprised to see him heave it up again. So Crawford behind center. He gives the jet sweep.
Oh, he's in
He
trouble.
breaks containment, but the pursuit brings him down about the line. But
The further you keep going, the more you're in trouble. They lost, what, 2 or 3 yards? Because the pursuit, it's going to get you. You got to make your mind up. You got to cut it up. All good runners have that instinct that they know when to cut it up.
so 2nd and 13. Big pressure by Anderson, and the ball's just thrown away. Incomplete. Good job getting rid of it. Roy Crawford gets rid of that one before he takes the big loss. But heavy pressure by Anderson.
Boy, he came unblocked. That's a scary thought.
Yeah. Yeah, Naheem Anderson, the senior at 6'2", 225. And Roy Crawford, a senior for Cumberland at 5'9", 161. he does a good job just being able to get rid of that. 8:34 to go, 3rd and long, 3rd and 13. And Vineland saying the tight end or tackle moved. Cumberland saying, no, we didn't. And the officials are going to say,
oh, they got him.
and it is on Cumberland.
Penalty was on Cumberland. Brings up 3rd and 17.
So the ball back right around the 14. See if Cumberland tries to get a few yards or if they just heave it up here. Got to be worried about punt time. Pressure comes. It's completed to the flat. Defended well and a real nice tackle by Blakely right at the 20.
10 yards short, Rich. 4th down.
Nice play by number 24, Bryant, who I'm adding to my roster. That's not on there.
Here comes the exciting part, Rich.
And now Bryant's going to punt it away. And you just notice Bryant's probably about 6'3" or 6'4".
Yeah.
And that one snap went way over his head. So see how they managed this snap at 4th and 9. It's a beautiful snap. A high but short kick. And it's down just on the Colts side of the field, probably around the 49-yard line. So Vineland starts for the 2nd time in Colt territory.
Vineland starts 1st and 10 from the Colt 40.
Well, from a slow start to Pacheco down on the field for a moment,
Yeah.
to the offense just getting in gear. See if Vineland can keep that momentum. Guess I left my sweatshirt in the car, Coach. I had that nice Vineland one. Didn't stuff it in my bag, but I'm getting a little chilly.
Yeah.
Warm you up. 1st and 10, Fighting Clan. Pacheco takes it himself through the middle, burst of speed, and he's wrestled down by Lamarck Jones, but not after Vineland. 1st down.
Checker with a 15-yard gain. 1st and 10. 1st and 10 Vineland.
Maybe that touchdown by Cumberland was a little smack in the face, Rich.
Well, I know defensive coordinator Cliff Smith not real pleased with that. It's one thing somebody makes a throw right on the money and you're in position, but they make it. But that ball was in the air a while, and a lack of defenders there.
Yep.
This time we give again to Anderson. Nobody in his way. He's going to scoot in the end zone for a touchdown. Naheem Anderson, in almost what looked like the same exact play, gets a 34-yard touchdown run with 7:06 left in the 1st half. Vineland's going to go for 2.
Oh.
Well, Anderson's looked nice running today. Floats it up. And just not able to hold on. Nice defensive play by Terrell Russell breaking that.
In the 1st half, your score, Vineland 14, Cumberland 6.
That's 2 bolts of lightnings by Anderson.
Yeah, quick, fast, and that one really nobody there to even challenge him after he got past the backers. It was Tyrene Powell down there, I believe, stalk blocking that just opened up the whole other side of the field for him.
Well, he turned it on pretty good.
So plenty of rankings between NJ.com, the Courier Post, and what have you. But in looking at the Prime Events rankings, which is where a lot of the old Cape teams are located, the rankings are for South Jersey, not just those. It's Timber Creek number 1, Millville number 2, Lenape number 3, Camden 4, St. Augustine at 2-2 is 5, and 3-0 Vineland at 6, just ahead of 2-1 Cherokee.
Not a lot of respect yet, but it's coming.
And getting back on top of it right around the 20 is that pooch kick has been causing trouble. And Hatcher for Cumberland with the recovery. .74 for Cumberland. Cameron Smith, the senior, 6'5", 280. He's at the top of the screen at tackle. And he's going to be battling with Reyes, Vineland's junior, at 5'11", 230. That's a nice one to watch right at the top of your screen. And Reyes creates this standoff. And the surge pushes back, maybe a gain of half a yard.
They can't move our front. The most success they've had, they ran outside the tight end.
And player down for Cumberland. Weird scrum at the end of that. Sometimes you get your legs a little tangled up.
Oh, yeah.
So as Vineland looks to go 4-0 for the second year in a row. We tell you about all the players all the time. Let's mention this coaching staff. Head coach Dan Russo. Kyle Serrana, head of football operations. Defensive coordinator Cliff Smith. Jason Volpe, the offensive coordinator. Defensive line coach Jose Guzman. Offensive line coach Sylvester Cefalalio. Chris Vizo, the quarterback's coach. Jim Eccles handles the special teams. Paul Longren, the freshman head coach. And Jason Dorsey, freshman defensive coordinator. And the freshmen won yesterday, and they're now 4-0. The JV sit at 3-0 and wait to play on Monday. Yeah. And the high school team the varsity team is 3-0, trying to make it 4. So not a loss yet for the Vineland teams in any of the divisions.
I feel bad for those younger teams because a lot of teams, they're forfeiting our JVs and freshmen. They don't have enough kids.
But it's a double pass, almost picked off by Anderson. But it is complete on a nice grab by Terrell Russell off the tip by Anderson.
Yeah, that was a pretty good play by the Cumberland young man. He faked the pass, then he ran, then he threw it. But Anderson had a clean shot at it and went off his hand.
So it sets up a makeable third down. It's 3rd and 2, ball on their own 28-yard line. They're down under 6 minutes at 5.5 now. There's a give and plowing forward for the first down and a few more. Another Cumberland player down on the field. It's Demetrius Kent, the senior at 5'9", 210. And I believe Kent's the center. So a couple plays in a row, a couple injuries. And as we look at this Cumberland sideline, I'm just going to do a quick head count here, Coach. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 players on the side. So 31 players in uniform tonight for Cumberland. It's not a big number. Vineland brought a small travel squad today. Not their normal numbers.
Yeah.
Mark Jones, number 4, on the sideline. He's trying to work out a little leg issue. So right now for Vineland in the West Jersey Football League Continental Division, it's Millville and Vineland at 2-0 in the division, 3-0 overall. St. Augustine Prep at 1-1 in division, AC at 1-1, Bridgeton and Egg Harbor at 0-2. Vineland with a lot of away games to get this started. So Kent able to make it off the field with a little help. But after that run, it's going to be 1st and 10. Ball on the Colts 33.
Been a low-keyed half, hasn't it, Rich?
Yeah.
Except for Anderson.
There's a counter and waiting there and doing an outstanding job on the outside. Could have been Conrad Jackson. Can't really see over the helmets, but like Jackson was around there.
And Broom.
Broom, 34?
Yeah.
So 2nd and 8. Crawford has motion in front, high snap, but he pulls it down. He's going to take it himself. And the ball is loose. Anderson has it. Reyes shields the defender. Defensive touchdown, Vineland. And a flag just hit the field.
Oh, boy.
Now that, I don't know what the flag is, but it came out 35 yards behind the play, or 25 yards behind the play. The touchdown's good. Not sure if they're picking it up or what they're doing about it. Maybe a sideline warning, I think, is all that was for the coaches. As the officials started heading down, he's dodging some coaches for Cumberland.
The official play was a fumble recovered by Vineland and returned for the touchdown.
Well, here's something new, Coach. It's going to be an extra point, and this time it's going to be kickoff man Robert Apprecio. That's a high snap. Aprecio's going to try to run it, and he's hit and dropped. Snap up high. Shelton not able to bring it down. So we have a little bit of a streak of no extra point, 1 point conversions in a little while. You know, it'd be nice to see Aparicio get to put his foot into a ball. You know, we watch him warming up, and he's got a leg behind him.
Yeah.
But, you know, the kickoff duties are just drop it in there. So 20-6 Vineland.
Yep.
And for the Colts, Demetrius Kent, who was injured, number 55, is jogging around the sideline. Looks like he'll be able to get back in there.
Well,
I'm a little worried, Coach. I thought I brought my sweatshirt with me, and that was that real nice one Coach Russo got for us. And
you got any extras?
No, I don't have any extras. I'm going to take yours when you're not looking. No, hopefully it's in the car. But I am sitting amongst everyone out here in the bleachers, so you never know. I could have dropped it somewhere.
See if you got any extras.
(20-6) Fighting Clan. Aparicio to kick. Pops that one up high. It's taken and tackled almost immediately. Terrell Russell comes up, makes the catch, and brings it forward for about a return of 4 or 5 yards.
36, Rich, they start.
4:18 to go in the first half. Vineland's last 3 plays with the football resulted in 2 touchdowns, and their last play on defense resulted in a touchdown. So quarterback Crawford in the shotgun. He's going to throw. Reyes pressures him. It's thrown and intercepted by Pacheco. And wrestled down from behind on a nice tackle before he can get it upfield. Oh, excuse me. That was Brooks, not Pacheco. I saw the 9, thought it was a 1 from here. So that's a second game in a row for Brooks with an interception. He was one of our welcome home players last week in his first game for Vineland. And now he's 2 for 2, 2 games, 2 interceptions, and there's still a lot to play here.
Looks like the 48, Rich. Well, just hand the ball off to Anderson.
It's been working, huh?
Yeah, that's a pretty good play so far.
And once again, it's Pacheco at quarterback. Anderson alongside him. Pacheco's going to take it himself. And he's hit and finally pushed back.
Gain of 2, 2nd and 8.
You think they would have been attacking Anderson after those 2 touchdown runs, but Key and Pacheco pulls it away from Anderson to take it, and that closed up quick. Nice job on that defensive front by Mystery Man 62. Wow. Usually I get a feel when it's going to be a delay, but well, what's the call?
I don't know.
The ref who threw it's the delay game ref, but Cumberland tried. Yeah, Cumberland had an extra player again, I guess.
It looks like the 12th man they keep substituting.
Ay, ay, ay. Well, the officials get together to try to make sure they're all on the same page.
Here comes the call. No flag.
No flag.
They're going back.
See, I think it was for a delay, and everybody's like, well, no, because it went the other way. I don't know what.
No, there's no flag, Rich.
You know now, but
up.
I don't know what he threw it on. Maybe he thought there was an extra guy, but he keeps looking at his watch.
Oh.
So 2nd and 9. Give to Anderson.
Uh-oh.
Through the middle.
Goodbye.
There he goes. 30, 25,
Goodbye.
15, 10-5 touchdown Vineland. Anderson's 3rd touchdown in this half. And this one is 51 yards with 3:23 to go in this first half. So, boy, Anderson's having a game. His last 3 carries have been 3 touchdowns.
Wow.
Or excuse me, last 2 carries.
No, he scored them all.
No, but the other was the fumble. Yeah, but
he's got them all.
But it's not a carry.
I don't care.
I'm talking about on offense. His last
He's
2
got
carries
them all,
have been
Rich.
for touchdowns. Yeah, he's moving up the scoring charts, that's for sure.
Ooh.
So Vineland going for 2. Pacheco keeps, goes through the middle, hop, skip, and a jump, and can almost see now that life Cumberland had at the end of the first quarter. It's kind of not as much aggression getting to the football right now, and you know they're. I don't know if they're young or old, but they're definitely an undersized team here today. As the offensive line, except for a couple of them, look about 5'11", 230, and they've got a 350-pound nose guard to defend against.
Well, he ain't getting in the way of Anderson.
Noah Sansalone, the other tackle at 6'4", 250. Just not a lot of size and not a lot of numbers. Coach Dwayne Hendricks has had some tough going here. The Millville standout and University of Miami player trying to turn this program around. And it's hard when you have some really good teams in your conference that you've got to play. And for Vineland, when we tried to rebuild for years, it was playing 4 playoff teams in a row. This is kind of what Cumberland's going through. It gets very difficult.
Ooh.
So now finally to the back line and trying to return. It picks up a couple blocks and finally brought down Javier Santana, 32, on the tackle. Javier had a touchdown last week.
37-yard line, Rich.
So it was a nice return. You see why the ones that have been popped up is just really that one play. A long touchdown pass, the only real sustainable thing for the Cumberland offense. I think 3 first downs before that, but nothing really to worry about. I formation this time. There's a blast up the middle.
Oh, Anderson.
And
what
Jones is right there to stand him up.
Did he fill that hole? He filled that hole beautifully.
Yeah, and the nose guard slides over. That's a loss on the play, and that's something when you have a 2-back I formation. You give to the tailback, and you lose 3 yards.
Yeah.
It's a nice job by that front. Elijah Jones up in the middle, just clogging it up, and as you mentioned, then Anderson comes up and finishes it off.
Timeout.
And Cumberland's going to take a timeout with 2:32 to go.
That's their second, Rich.
In this first half. When I get back to the car, if my sweatshirt's there, I don't know if it's going to do me any good. I don't know if I'm going to need it in there. But you're nice and warm, Coach.
Boy, the weather changed, didn't it, overnight?
Mm-hmm. Thank goodness. Almost as many cheerleaders as players, Coach.
Yeah.
About 30 of them. All right, looks like we're ready to play some more football. So 2nd and long, 2nd and 12. Good snap to Crawford. Naheem Anderson has him, flips him down for the sack. I think Vineland will take a timeout now. And they do. Nice timeout call by Coach, not wasting any time on that. They make the call trying to get another score in this first half. So 3rd and about 20. Well, Coach, you run a draw or just a handoff here, make Vineland use their last timeout?
No, I didn't see too much out of Cumberland. But they've thrown the ball while they had an interception, too. But I don't know. Try to run wide.
Comes that Vineland D looking to make one more stop here on 3rd and long.
Yeah. Ooh.
Comrade Jackson in there all game tonight, looking well. Jackson, Anderson, Broom across that linebacker core. What are we waiting for?
That's a good question, Mitch.
Yeah.
I don't see the referee. Oh, here he comes.
Oh, there was a meeting with I didn't see the 3 officials and Coach Hendricks talking down here. Now we're ready to go. Ardhunt in at the defensive tackle spot now as Sansalone gets a break. And there's pressure. It's thrown to the flat. There's a little bit of room. Trying to spin to the inside and lifted and dropped. Naheem Anderson's having a good game all over. Or that was Anderson was in there also, but that was Reyes. Looked like he got the lift and the drop. And Vineland takes their last time out on 4th and 9, hoping to get another score with 1:59 to go. Cumberland will be punting. I just saw 24, right? Was not in the program. I'm like, oh, wow, he's the same height as 15. I'll see how tall 15 is, maybe add an inch. But 15's not in there either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 14 and 16, add their heights together, and divide. What do you think?
Oh, boy.
We'll figure this out one way or the other.
I think the cold's starting to get
I may have to look and see how tall Coach Hendricks is and wait for him to walk by a player. But 24, Bryant, he's the one catching that ball in the flat. He has a couple nice receptions on those flat plays, and he's a big body to bring down.
Pretty nice play. They bring him from the left side, and they take him underneath the zone, and they hit him, as he's crossing. Pretty good play. All right.
Well, Coach, you definitely punt here. This is just a joke. But since Anderson's last 3 touches, he hasn't been touched, maybe you say doesn't matter. That's just humor. I don't really mean that. I expect a kick.
The excitement's in the snap.
There's a good one. Well, that's a nice punt. Pacheco takes it, trying to get to the top of the screen.
He's going,
Picks
Rich.
his way through the middle.
He's
Explodes to the outside. What a run. I can't even describe it. To the 10-5, touchdown, Pacheco.
He's going. And it's going to get called back.
Where?
Man threw a flag over here.
Well, great run by Pacheco. And Coach spotted a flag. Teams are going down for extra point, though.
Yeah, but the refs are talking.
I think they talk more to each other than I've been speaking to my wife, Coach.
We'll see.
And the foul is on Cumberland. It'll be enforced on the kickoff.
Oh.
Not sure what that signal is.
I don't know either.
Back. So Vineland Special Teams gets a touchdown.
I don't know what that signal is. Anderson, it looks like Rich, an 80-yard return. Pacheco, I'm sorry. So it makes
80?
Yeah.
That came down to the 20? I'm sure it wasn't the 40?
No.
That 20 is way down there, Coach.
Maybe the 30.
I'll go with that. Pacheco to throw. Lobs it up. And complete. Tyreen Powell on the reception. As they're starting to learn how to use Tyreem's big body on there. Tyreen Powell, sophomore, at 6'4", 185, and that's just really hard to defend that height. And he has a real long reach and long arms, long body, able to get to balls that others can't. So Vineland's last 2 touchdowns, it were not the last 2, but they have 2-point conversions through the air to Reyes and to Powell. So 1:43 to go. Vineland used their timeouts to set up their offense. And now Cumberland's going to get it back because of that with 1:43. But That's certainly what you have to do. Call those timeouts and.
No, we need a score, Rich. You know why, right?
Why is that?
The mercy rule being.
Yeah, 30 points now. 5 to go for that running clock. Pretty disciplined game by Vineland so far today.
Yeah.
Oh, what a second quarter for Vineland. They trailed 6-0 starting it. They've scored 36 straight points.
Yeah. Oh, good kick.
We're going to see if Vineland can defend it. Boxed up. Nice tackle on the play.
26, Rich. And we don't have one.
Hey. Nice job by 26 on the stop, who contained the outside very well.
Okay. They're starting where? The 30? Yeah.
On the 30. 59, Elijah Jones, the junior nose tackle at 5'10", 350, has really gotten better and better each week as he moves to the ball. There's a hit and dropped. Reyes on the stop from the far side, tracking it down from behind and bringing down DeMar Braxton. 122 and running.
Trying to find out who that is.
Not on there, Coach. Not the names added the other week. I have them right here.
He's on there.
Who?
Conrad Jackson.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant the guy who made the tackle. Conrad's 81. He's been in all game there. There's flags on the play. Short gain. And procedure. So first quarter, that was great for Cumberland. Then they take a lead of 6-0, and since then, the wheels have kind of fell off, and the morale is on the side. So third and 9. 45 seconds and running to go.
Just run a play and let the clock.
After the run brings up 3rd and 10.
We're down to 23. Could be the last play of the half. And they go counter to the outside. On the inside, not sure who made it. Possibly Broom, 34.
That'll be the end of the half, Rich.
Russell gains 5, brings up 4th and 5.
3-2-1 halftime, Coach. So first quarter that went Cumberland's way, and the rest has been all Vineland. It's been Naheem Anderson and that offensive line just opening things up here. Want to take me through that, Coach?
Yes. Cumberland's had the ball 7 times. The only offense they showed was a 73-yard bomb at the 10:26 mark of the second quarter. They went up 6-0, and the 2 points was no good. We got the ball back, and Anderson started the Anderson quarter. Let's call it that, Rich. 32-yard run at the 9:31 mark. We got Reyes' 2 points, 8-6. At the 7:06 mark, Anderson in a 34-yard run. Put us up 14-6. A pass to Powell is no good for 2. At the 4:50 mark, Anderson picks up a fumble and goes 38 yards. So now Mr. Anderson makes it 20-6. Okay. He then goes on a 51-yard run to make it 26-6 at the 3:23 mark. Pacheco on a return punt at the 1:43 mark on a great run, makes it 34-6. Powell does get the 2 points, and the score at half is 36-6, Rich. What a great quarter for Vineland.
Yep.
Absolutely just busted it wide open in that second quarter.
Yeah, kind of forced their will and pounded that rock up the middle. So as we go into half, it's 36-6 Vineland, and we'll be back for your third quarter of action. Just about ready to start this second half. This is Rich Scarpa for John Parentazzi as Vineland holds that 36-6 lead. And looking at for Vineland, next week is the bye week, and then Vineland getting its Clearview comes in to Gatone Stadium October 13th at 6 o'clock. Follow that up as VHS will go down to AC, last year's playoff team, and trending to be in the Group 5 playoffs again this year. So that's one of our first tests, and that just leads to a murderer's row of games coming up after that as St. Augustine Prep travels into Vineland on November 3rd. Then around the playoffs, Thanksgiving with Millville, and then hopefully a championship game where may end up running into Millville one more time. We'll have to see, but pretty interesting that the end of this year, the schedule starts out with some struggling teams for Vineland as Millville and St. Augustine already got together. But just like Vineland's team, that takes a little while to get going, down 6-0 here in the second quarter, and in the second quarter, Vineland scores 36 points. Been that way most of the year. First quarter scoring very low for Vineland as they get ready and get it churned up. Well, that's exactly how their schedule plays out also, with games that you're going to be very heavily favored in. And the tough part is guys have practiced for years since they're 7 years old playing midget football, and you get to your senior year and you're playing for the high school, and it's the end of the first half and you're out of the game. So, I mean, that's also very tough for them, but the road gets much tougher as it moves along, and Vineland's 7th ranking in the polls I was going over. They'll have every opportunity to climb up. They have number 2 Millville, number 6 St. Augustine Prep, and they'll have 2 playoff teams in there to go with too, hopefully. So things will get tougher for the Clan. It's up to them to maintain some discipline and show some growth. And the one good thing about these blowouts early, a lot of guys getting turns on the field, a lot of guys getting reps. As I mentioned pregame, undefeated freshmen and JV teams to go with this undefeated varsity team. So there's a lot of depth, and we've seen that throughout the year as guys work in a little quicker each week. So just to remind you, I am at field level, so very hard to size everything up as the onside kick comes from Cumberland and recovered by Vineland. There's an improvement as Conrad Jackson comes up with that. Last week it was the start of the second half with EHT down 22-0 that they converted an onside kick and got possession back of the ball to start the second half. So as we went to half, it was Anderson run, Anderson run, Anderson run, Anderson fumble recovery. So, and kind of just getting through everything. Pacheco punt return. So having a hard time containing in the middle has been Cumberland. And this time it's the give to Garcia on the top of the screen. He cuts it up, has the first down, and then some. He shows his speed as he steps out of bounds at the 22-yard line. About a 25-yard gain for Garcia. And Garcia doesn't get a ton of touches, but when he does, he's pretty productive with it. Garcia coming into today, 7 carries for 44 yards, averaging over 6 yards a carry, and has a touchdown. So just that quick, Vineland almost in the red zone at the 24-yard line. And this time over the top goes, Pacheco with a straight arm that downs the defender. It's going to be close to another first down. A vicious straight arm by Pacheco that just clobbers the defender. And sure enough, good for another first down. So now Vineland quickly in the red zone at the 16-yard line. Looked like not a lot in the middle, but breaking a few tackles, and it's going to end up being a gain about 7. So as we talked about a lot last year and a little bit this year, Vineland up 30 points. A touchdown here will put them up over 35 points. So then have that running clock where the clock will only stop for injuries and timeouts. It is Pacheco at quarterback to start this half. Your regular allotment of offensive linemen: Sansalone, Eckert, Bachma, Ardahan, and Jones. With tight end Reyes. Pacheco to throw. He zips it to Reyes. He's not able to hold on to that bullet thrown down inside the 5. So after that nice gain on first, the incompletion sets up a 3rd and 6. Two-down territory for Vineland here. More time to hit it. Pacheco tries to pick his way through the middle, and nice job defensively. He just picks up maybe a yard. Colt defense up to the test that time, tackled by 72, not in my program. So 4th and 5. Ball right on the Colt 10-yard line. I think this one's taking a little bit of time to get in. We'll have to see if they're going to be able to get it off. And Vineland set. Pacheco to throw. He's looking for Powell, who's just not able to hold on. Good defensive play by 21 for Cumberland, who breaks it up. So after the onside kick, the Colt defense bends but doesn't break as they stop Vineland on the 10-yard line, so they'll take over deep in their own end. Roy Crawford to quarterback. I think they have 12 guys out there right now. Yeah, I think they have 12 players. And one just hopped off. So 1st and 10. Crawford, no backs with him, so he's going to throw, and he's going to look deep down the right sideline. Can he outrun Conrad Jackson to the edge? Nope. As Jackson makes the play with some help from Otis Harold. Jackson showing some speed getting to that edge. But a gain of about 3. It's going to do an impression of you. I don't know if you want to hear it. So 2nd and officially 6. No running backs alongside the quarterback, Crawford. Here comes one in front. There's the give on the jet sweep. And hit and stopped short of the 1st down. It's going to set up 3rd down. Actually, it looks like might have. Now they're going to move the yard marker. That's more like it. So 3rd and 3 in their own end. Ball on the Cumberland 14. Well, Coach, we had another onside kick attempt to start the 2nd half. I didn't call that one or think that one was happening. I won't even try to fool you. Vineland got it, marched down to the 10, and drive stalled there on an incompletion on 4th down. And offsides Vineland, that's going to give Cumberland a 1st down. Yeah, we were talking pregame. One of the things Cumberland does is they go on different cadence a lot. And for a team like Vineland that's so aggressive and sending your 4th and 5th pass rushers randomly out of a selection of 4 players, and you really want to make a jump into that line and try to get there before the line can figure out what you're doing, and jumping off sides, giving Cumberland a 1st down there. This is a keeper by Crawford. He runs hard and picks up about 3 or 4. Yeah, Otis, the game you weren't out, he had a kickoff return for a touchdown. Yeah, and today, you know, he's been starting all game today with Reese a little banged up, that they're resting him, and he's done well. Otis not the biggest player out there at 5'6", 130. A smart football player. There's it. Ball's loose on the ground. Still loose. Reyes tried to pick it up. Let's hope he's all right. Looks like he's getting up. Cumberland has it. Reyes trying to pick it up. Got hit a little awkwardly. So big loss on the play by Cumberland, setting up. I think we wanted to pick it up and run it in. Timmy Jones in on defense. Don't see that quite often. Just nowhere to go and nothing to do there. So another sack and a big loss. It's going to be 4th and long back at the 10-yard line where this drive started. And Cameron Smith has to come out for this one. His helmet had come off. So 7:03 to go and running in this third quarter. Vineland in good position to get it back. Scepter, oh, they're all right there, right around the 35 or 40. And that's going to be downed near midfield. Cumberland player jumps and downs the ball, a little worried about Pacheco grabbing it and taking off with it on the big hop. So we'll see if Vineland this time will line up and try to run that trap up the middle to Anderson one more time to get this clock rolling. So Vineland hustles out. Conrad Jackson now in on offense. It's a tight end. As Reyes was a little banged up. Let's see if he's going to get back in. It looked like his forearm. Anderson is the running back. This is a give to Brooks over the right side. It's the first time we've seen him carry. Makes a move to the inside, picks up a first down, and then some, gain of about 13. I think that's Brooks. Yeah, that's Brooks, number 9, not number 8, Anderson, if you hear in the PA announcer. Brooks' first carry goes for a first down. So 1st and 10 at the 35. Vineland's got to get it off, and they do. And here's Pacheco through the middle. Spins and down. Looks like he's going to have enough for a first down at the 25. And Pacheco had a streak going of big gains. He's averaging over 150 yards per game rushing, and that's with playing half the time. Last week was the tops at, I believe, like 222, somewhere around there rushing. It's a fake. Pacheco takes it, and he finds an opening. He's going to score to the end zone. 25-yard run by Pacheco. Now comes your favorite part, Coach. After this extra point and the kickoff, that clock will get moving. So a first quarter that was outstanding for Cumberland as they battled to a 0-0 tie in the first quarter. The second quarter, they got the first points to go up 6-0, but 42 unanswered points by Vineland. And now Vineland's going to go for 2 again. Anderson alongside Pacheco. Real tight formation here. Look for a run. There's motion, but it's a pass. Pacheco floats it to Reyes, who makes a nice leaping catch for the conversion. So 3 times a 2-point conversion on pass plays. And that one had me fooled, as that's the tightest bunch I've seen them in. Looking like they're going to try to pound it up the gut. And instead it's the completion to Reyes. It's his second 2-point conversion. The first he ripped from the defender's hand. And it's also nice to see him back out on the field and okay. You haven't been on the wrong side of many of these games, Coach.
No. No.
I mean, I think until I left for school, I think the closest was a little bit of a rough first half in the playoffs in '84, but then we stormed back nicely in the second half, put up more points on Pennsauken.
But nobody had scored on them all year.
The eventual champs, was it 24-26 we put up? And
yeah.
It was a miserable day, too, a little cold in Pennsauken.
Yeah. Big call in that game. Griggs, the kid who went to Virginia, scores a touchdown, and the ref threw a flag on him because he was covered. The wideout moved up to the line.
Nice booming kick, going to come down to the 15. Couple missed tackles, but there's Conrad Jackson with some help to bring him down again. So he was covered.
And the ref threw the flag. Well, Mr. Daniels, the referee, come over and he said, "We're picking up the flag." I said, "Why are you picking up the flag? I mean, the man, even the guys upstairs were hollering, and we count who to cover." Well, he's not sure. Well, tell him to come over here. I'll tell him how sure I am.
Well, I think you're very – go ahead.
And they counted that score. That was the difference.
I think you were very fortunate that all headsets were wired back in the day. if you had Wi-Fi and free range, I think you could have had a lot more penalties. So offsides, Vineland.
Well, they stopped the clock, Rich.
There we go. Maybe if you're the losing team on a penalty on the other team, I don't know.
I don't know.
Sometimes I think they just say, we don't care if it's a touchdown, we're going to let it run.
Yeah.
I think Vineland may have got this one back. Nope, offsides again on Vineland.
And they stopped the clock again.
It's a swing pass, and there's a lane and an opening. Boy, did that close quick with a couple of big hits. Broom in there along with Jackson, it looks like. Once again, I apologize, guys, if I'm calling you out wrong.
It was Broom.
So 4:20.
I asked him yesterday if he was better than his father. Guess what his answer was?
Of course.
No.
Oh, nice.
He said, "I'm going to be."
Oh, that's even a better answer. Swing pass to the top. Yeah, Stanford was an outstanding player of yours. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see him. That was my away at college years.
Yeah.
Didn't get to see much, maybe 1 or 2 games. But
he had it all, Rich. Speed, height, hands.
And a lot of big-time coaches knocking at the door.
Yes, he did.
So 3rd and long now for Cumberland. We talk about players whose fathers played. We always talk about Timmy Jones and his son Tim up on the playing offensive tackle.
Oh, man, we got to stop that.
Well, right now you have a lot of new guys in on defense, just as we mentioned Timmy Jones. A lot of new guys in on defense that haven't heard the cadence. Arterhun, Jones up there, I believe. Yeah. So they haven't heard this cadence yet, and now there's 3 receivers to the bottom. Shelton comes up and presses. And running for the first down. And the ball's loose on the field, and it's picked up by Vineland. Not sure if that was Anderson that picked it up. So Vineland has it back with 2:45 to go in the third quarter, up 44-6.
That was a pretty good run by the young man. He had plenty of yardage for the first.
Yeah, they looked like the only thing was he made a nifty move to pick up more than the first down, but kind of took the ball off his body when he did it. And that pursuit by Vineland gets there.
I can't tell what this is. It looks like 35.
45.
45.
There's another run over the right side, and there
gone.
goes Pacheco gone. A 55-yard touchdown run for Isaiah Pacheco with 2:03 to go in the third quarter. And that's probably the last we're going to see of Pacheco and Anderson today. You know, talking with the coaches and basically to Pacheco, I didn't ask him about it, but people were telling me what he had to say. And it was, I think it was Egg Harbor. One play he got tracked down from behind, and we were a little amazed. And I think it was Coach Smith saying, you know, he had thought nobody was behind there and was just running fast. He wasn't running like somebody was chasing him, and he certainly showed that speed the rest of the way as Anderson gets in for the two-point conversion.
Oh, shit. Thank you. Anderson got 2.
So 52-6. So that's 52 straight points now for Vineland.
Yeah.
And here's where it'll get interesting, trying to call out some of these numbers, Coach.
Yeah. I agree.
Once again, the 10th annual Powder Puff game will be held on Wednesday, October 18th at 6:30 here at Cumberland Regional Stadium.
So Vineland, the last few kickoffs have come down inside the 15. Aparicio able to kick it deep. Now Vineland has that big lead, and not that Vineland can't cover a kick, but if that's one of the team's biggest assets, you know, you're not going to give it to them in the beginning of a game, but giving them an opportunity. Last few times with this big lead, Vineland's getting an opportunity for their special teams to make tackles, and big tackles. As we start seeing New Jersey sprinkle in.
They have plenty of time to rest.
This one's going to come down at the 25. And there's a seam trying to outrun the defenders, but a great job by Cumberland getting in some great field position.
20-5, Rich.
It was 20.
Chris Miller and Senior Gray.
I had 26 on that tackle, Coach, but he's not in my book.
No, it was.
Oh, I think we may have to put a soda on that one. There was a couple other people in on that too, but now first down at the Vineland 36, and just what we talked about, practicing those kick returns. That one didn't go too good for Vineland. And here's a reverse try, and nice job by Reyes, who holds on to the tail of the shirt and wrestles him down for a loss. Reyes has that contain assignment on that side, and it's a tough one, being a defensive tackle and playing C-gap and also squeezing and containing like a defensive end. He does an outstanding job with one arm just grabbing and whipping him to the ground. Don't know what this stoppage is
There's
for.
a young man
hurt. Oh, there you go. I can't see that, Coach.
Yeah.
So player down on the field. Well, our crew's been sweating most of the year. They've probably started out today a little hot, but now it's getting quite cool. We'd like to thank them, as always, for their work. Today's crew for Vineland versus Cumberland Regional, Mark McGill, Andrew Ellis, Kayla Spire, crew chiefs Doug Diola and Ryan Steinbraun, and executive producer of VPS TV is GM Missouri, the school district's public information officer. So 2nd and 17. Crawford takes it up the middle and slides down in front of the Vineland defender. He may get 6 or 7 back, making it 3rd and long. Oh, even less than that. 3rd and 15. I thought he made it a little further. Don't forget, we're always streaming live on YouTube at VPS Broadcasting.
He ran off the field, Rich. They don't have a quarterback.
He's talking to the coach over there.
Oh, they're letting the quarter run out.
Okay. So streaming live, game times, and then also TV broadcast on Comcast Channel 9. Regular scheduled broadcasts are 6 o'clock on Saturday and Sunday and 7 o'clock on Monday. Verizon Fios, Channel 41, same show times. And as always, watch this game or any of the games. Just go to YouTube, VPS Broadcasting, and you can pull up not just the football games, watch a couple soccer games and whatever else we have going on as this crew travels all around and tries to bring you not just sports activities, but National Honor Society, school board meetings, a little bit of everything.
They do a great job.
So now,
what I watched the other night was very interesting. Sugar. I'll think of it. It was about our town.
so these 12 minutes are going to fly by, Coach. So Vineland heading into their off week.
As much as the second quarter, as much as
looks
the
like the ball's loose on the ground.
Well,
and the Colts have it.
As much as the second quarter was Anderson, the third quarter was all Pacheco. 55-yard run and 25-yard run. And he kind of busted that quarter open pretty good.
The fumble, the Colts land on it, but it was 4th down, so Vineland takes over in good field position.
I didn't see who was quarterback then, Rich. Did you see who started?
I couldn't see.
I was wondering if Sheldon was back in.
Looks like Shelton's coming out now. He's going to quarter it.
Yeah. He's got Anderson on his right.
Brandon Roldan up in on the line now. It's the gift to Garcia. Gets around Anderson. Stays on his feet somehow. He's slung around and picks up another 7 or 8 yards on that. Gain of about 18 or 19.
Boy, he's a little spark plug, isn't he?
And knows what to do with the football, on both sides. There's one play at, I think it was Egg Harbor, where he catches the ball, gets to the corner, and knows to get out of bounds. Real smart football player. Nothing but great things from the coaches about him.
Yep.
And there's Anderson over the left side.
Oh, he's going.
Now we got to look up school records for touchdowns. Touchdown Anderson.
Looks like a 40-yard run, Rich.
33, Coach.
33?
Yeah, I cheated. I looked at the scoreboard. First
Oh.
and 10 ball on the 33. If I didn't have the scoreboard, I'd agree it in a second because can't really see. Vineland going for 2 to make it 60-6.
I can't see the clock, Rich. How much time we going?
9:34 and running. Still waiting on a signal. I don't.
2 points.
Well, why wouldn't that official on the far side put his hands up after the other one did so we could see that?
I don't know.
Is he tired?
I don't know.
Pulled a shoulder muscle. So our first quarter that started really slow for Vineland with 0 points on the board. I know I've said it a few times, but then it's Cumberland up first 6-0, and then 60 straight points by the Fighting Clan.
Yeah.
So 9:19, and that clock will start running on the kickoff. So much scoring today. See what happens a lot of times, Cumberland's in a position to make a tackle, but you know, the speed, and not just the speed, the strength of both runners that have been doing most of the damage, Anderson and Pacheco. I mean, you can tackle most people, but when they get that going, I mean, that's not an easy assignment.
Rich, when they break through the line, there's no secondary pursuit. Looks like Cumberland's defensive backs are in cement.
Yeah.
They just don't move.
And I think some of the effort may get drained out of them. Not that I condone it, but there's a lot more hustle early in the game.
There's a 14 out there, Rich. We don't have on the.
Yeah, it's Camden Watts. You have an old roster, Coach.
Okay.
Watts and Hadnot were on this side, but Blakely on that one. Hadnot staying in on defense now. Jackson out there. Nose guard Ronald Jackson. So we have 2 Jacksons, Conrad and Ronald. Ardahan at the one end position. And getting to the outside. Swinging around, staying on his feet for a first down. Way to hold on by Harold, making that stop on the edge. Broom over there to help it out. 8:05. Well, we shouldn't have many games like this next year, Coach. With the realignment, we'll get hopefully grouped with all these teams I keep talking about. You know, there's a lot of Group 5 teams in there. Timeout Vineland. Looks like Vineland's going to call timeout, get a complete second unit in there. But when you're talking about it, you have Lenape right now at number 3. Well, Millville we play at number 2. Lenape at 3. Cherokee at 7. Rancocas Valley at 9. Shawnee at 12. Howe at 13. Just trying to pick out some of the bigger schools. I made just a couple here. I think Morristown's fairly big at 18.
I think Cedar Creek's 4.
Well, it's still fairly big, though, you know.
Yeah.
And that's more of a football town. Eastern at 4-0. They're ranked 25th. Burlington Township.
They're small.
They're small, Burlington? I thought it was Burlington. I thought they were big and City was small, but they're both small?
Both small.
Real good.
They're in that Florence, Burlington Township.
Yeah,
Burlington
I think that's
City.
actually used to be the Colonial, right?
Yeah.
I think. All right, so Vineland set. .735. So give up the middle. Maybe picks up a yard. Hadnot down in there on the stop along with Jackson. Well, sometimes when you have a team that's trying to find their way. What's that?
Who's Cumberland's next opponent?
I don't have them on my games because they're not Old Cape. They were Tri-County.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking about that during halftime, and I was looking. I don't have the – you have the book with the complete schedule. If you want to look at it, find it in here. So 2nd and 8, under 7 minutes to go. It's sweep to the top of the screen, and that's blown up for a loss. Look at that. I should have kept that information to myself. Now I just need longer arms because I left my glasses at home today. But next for Cumberland is Bishop Eustis, followed by Highland, Millville, Woodrow Wilson, Bridgeton, and Shallot.
Well, don't get any easier for them.
Now they had a couple to compete in. And last week with Triton was a great game for them. High-scoring affair that they battled for quite a while, put up a 24-game high point total. So 3rd and 9, we're at 6 minutes to go. Crawford trying to get the team in the end zone one more time. Tailback set way deep. And it's pass. And he's looking deep, and it's complete for a first down, and then has scored it out of bounds. Jackson in coverage there. 5:40 to go.
Who's that young man? 24? Caught that ball?
Oh, for them? Yeah, 24 Bryant. Not on the roster, but I heard them announce him earlier. He's the punter that I was trying to, and he caught the 2 in the flat earlier. Yeah. Trying to, get a size on him. He's a big guy.
A nice sized young man, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, seems to have played a really good game. He's caught everything thrown to him. He gets extra yards after the catch and on the sideline now. A lot of people moving around. Let's make sure everybody gets set. 5 minutes to go in this one. Cumberland back to throw is Crawford. He rolls, floats it complete, and tackled out of bounds, complete to number 21. Cumberland moving the football here. See if Vineland tries to send a little extra pressure. Get back to Crawford. Crawford's rolled out on the last one.
Seems to be their bread and butter play, Rich. Running and passing, rolling out.
It's like Vineland's going to pressure the edges to keep him in the pocket, and here's pressure by Conrad Jackson, who dives and makes a nice tackle. Excellent play by Jackson. Like I tell you every week, one of my old baseball players too, Coach.
Made a good play there.
They were short and little when they were 8 and 9 when I had them in the beginning. Conrad's really every week getting more and more action. Conrad, the sophomore, at 6 foot 195, and I think he grew since the beginning of the year. So 3rd down now, 3rd and 9. Back to pass. Turned back inside. Runs to the top. Jackson to make a tackle. Blakely down at the ankles, brings him down, but I think it's going to be enough for a first down with 3:30 to go and running. Expecting a lot of Lamarck Jones Jr. and Roy Crawford at quarterback with his feet and with his arm doing most of the work for Cumberland. So first down now at the 10-yard line. So it's 1st and goal. Doesn't that look like it's at the 15 if you don't look at the marker though, from where we're?
It sure does.
So 4 downs to get in the end zone or 3 minutes. Crawford floats it in the middle and it's intercepted. Is there room to return it? And brought down after a return of about 10 or 15. Nice job sitting in your zone and coming up and making a tackle. That was number 84 for Vineland. Reyes, I believe, on the interception.
He looked like his father doing that.
Who's that?
Broom.
Oh, it was Broom with the interception?
Yeah.
34? I just saw the 4.
Yep.
Yeah, he sat in that zone.
Sat right in the middle like his dad did.
Throwing it over him. And a week ago, I'd say if you completed it under him, they'd be clobbered. But you can't hit people that hard, I've learned. That ticky-tack nonsense called last week. So Vineland's defense gets the big pick. So with 2:15 to go and running, Vineland comes back out. A whole new look team.
Broom's the running back.
Ricardo Nieves up on the line. There's a give to the top of the screen. It's Jonathan Toney. And for Jonathan Toney, a gain of about 14. One carry, he's a freshman. Coming into this game, he had one carry, and that was at that Cherry Hill East game, a 16-yard touchdown run. So that's the first time he's been tackled in high school in varsity play. He came in right before the half, and 16-yard run he executed perfectly. So 1:30 to go. Shelton in at quarterback. Now we do the same thing to this side. Nice stutter step move. Shifty, out of bounds. Another nice run by Toney. I thought it was a good idea to bring a binder with clips so I can have my notes, but I'm catching a shadow out here. 1:05 left.
It's been a strange game, Rich, hasn't it?
Yeah, Vineland's put up points, but it still feels a little flat. Like. So timeout with 1 minute, 60-6 Vineland.
Who called timeout?
I couldn't see. I didn't see him point either way, so I didn't want to speculate.
I hope it wasn't us.
Sadly, that's the biggest word I dropped today, speculate. And that's not a good one.
I hope it wasn't us, Rich.
So as we hit the 1 minute mark, and the clock will run on the snap and continue to run, start taking care of some housekeeping as Vineland takes the field back out. Once again, thanks to our crew, Mark McGill, Andrew Ellis, Kayla Spire, crew chiefs Doug Diola and Ryan Steinbron, and executive producer of VPS TV is Gia Masori, the school district's public information officer. This time Shelton fakes. He floats it up deep and overthrown. By the time Powell gets back there, it's going to be another 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Coach Russo trying to get Shelton on track, give him an opportunity to throw the ball. So 35 seconds. This will probably be the last play of the game. Well, see, every time Vineland has their whole second team in, and as a coach, sometimes not if they're still throwing the ball, but it is your second team in there, and some coaches feel like if I take my starters out, I should run my offense the way I run it with my twos. It's not like Cumberland has their twos in. Vineland has some depth that their twos are as good as most teams' ones. There's a give up the middle and going to be brought down after a first down gain by Broom.
Oh, boy.
And that's going to do it for this one. As Vineland starts slow but finishes strong, 60-6. And Coach, you got a few notes on this second half for us?
Yes, it was all Vineland, Rich. It started at the 5:34 mark of the third quarter, and Pacheco, 25-yard run to make it 42-6. Reyes 2 points, made it 44-6. Pacheco on a 55-yard run at the 2:03 mark of the third quarter. Made it 56. Anderson 2 points, made it 52-6. Anderson on a 33-yard run at the 9:34 mark of the fourth quarter, 2 points, 60-6. Cumberland had the ball 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. They got down. They had a couple of drives going, but not much of an offense, Rich. And the score was 60-6. What was it last year? Same thing?
I just put all my stuff away there, Coach.
I think it was almost the same thing. But
so for Vineland gets into a bye week, fairly healthy. They did rest Tyrese today.
Right.
And then that'll give him 2 weeks of rest on his Achilles. And real nice to have him back last week. And Vineland comes out of this pretty healthy from what I can see. Oh, week off, a bye week to rest up, put a few new wrinkles in. And you did what you're supposed to do with your first 4 games. You dominated all 4 of them. You showed different wrinkles. I think the passing game, Coach Volpe, the offensive coordinator, has improved so much. not to take anything away from it before, but we used to talk about patterns. Now there's many patterns. There's many different looks, and the offense is just growing and growing. Well, Coach, enjoy the week off next week.
Yeah, I want to thank you again, Rich. Good job tonight. And for myself, John Parentazzo, my partner, Rich Scarpa, and a Vineland victory here at Colts Corral. See you in 2 weeks. Have a great week.
The Vineland football team and Red and Gray Gridiron Club would like to thank the following proud sponsors for their support of Vineland football this season. Sir Speedy, Reconstructive Orthopedics, Ducharme's, the Greenview Inn at Eastland Golf Course, Newfield National Bank, Larry's 2 Restaurant and Caterers, Allen Associates, Delsey ShopRite, Bella Limousine, Medio Law Firm, The Claridge, a Radisson Hotel and the View Rooftop Bar and Lounge, TechNed Consulting, the Vineland Education Association, Bagel University, Manny and Vic's Pizzeria and Restaurant, MVP Sports Bar, Richland Carpet and Flooring, G&S Dry Cleaners, Coraluzzo and Teresi Petroleum Exporters, the Russo family, and the Duini family.